Headphones on, the whispers begin.
Do you live alone? Have you recently moved into an empty house? In that case, be very careful. Emily had always dreamed of finding a perfect apartment in the city, a place where she could start fresh after a tumultuous year. When she stumbled upon the ad for a quaint, affordable one-bedroom unit in an old building, she jumped at the chance. The apartment, located in the historic district, had high ceilings, large windows, and a charming, vintage feel. It seemed too good to be true. From the moment she stepped inside, Emily felt a slight unease, but she attributed it to the stress of moving. She unpacked her boxes, arranged her furniture, and tried to make the place her own. That night, as she settled into bed, she noticed an unusual chill in the air, despite it being a warm summer evening. She pulled the covers tighter around her and fell into a restless sleep. The first night passed uneventfully, but the next morning, Emily woke to find her belongings slightly out of place. The kitchen chairs were pulled away from the table, and the bathroom door, which she was certain she had closed, was ajar. She shrugged it off as her mind playing tricks on her, a consequence of fatigue and the stress of moving. A few days later, Emily started hearing faint noises at night. Whispers, creaks, and soft thuds that seemed to emanate from the walls. She tried to ignore them, convincing herself it was just the building settling or the sounds of her neighbors. However, the unease persisted, growing stronger with each passing day. One evening, while unpacking a box of books, Emily came across a worn-out diary. Curious, she opened it and began to read. The diary belonged to a woman named Lisa, the previous tenant. As Emily read through the entries, she learned that Lisa had been deeply unhappy. She wrote about feeling trapped, hearing strange noises, and sensing a dark presence in the apartment. The final entry was particularly disturbing. July 15th. The darkness is closing in. I can feel it watching me, waiting for me to break. No one believes me. They think I'm crazy, but I know the truth. The spirit won't let me leave. I fear I won't survive much longer. Emily's blood ran cold. She realized that Lisa must have died shortly after writing that entry. She decided to do some research and discovered that Lisa had indeed died violently in the apartment under mysterious circumstances that were never fully explained. The police had ruled it a suicide, but neighbors whispered about foul play and a possible haunting. That night, the noises grew louder, and Emily felt a palpable sense of dread. She could no longer dismiss the strange occurrences. As she lay in bed, she heard a soft, mournful sobbing coming from the living room. Gathering her courage, she got up to investigate. The living room was empty, but the sobbing continued. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Emily's heart pounded in her chest as she followed the sound to the corner of the room. There, she saw a faint, ghostly figure, a woman with long, disheveled hair and hollow eyes. "Lisa," Emily whispered, her voice trembling. The figure looked up, its eyes filled with sorrow and anger. "You shouldn't have come here," it whispered, the voice echoing in the room. "It's not safe." Emily backed away, her mind racing. She needed to leave, but as she turned to go, the apartment door slammed shut with a force that shook the walls. The lights flickered and the air grew colder. The spirit's presence was overwhelming, a suffocating weight pressing down on her. Desperate, Emily ran to the bedroom and grabbed her phone, dialing her friend Anna. "Anna, please, I need help. There's something in my apartment. It's Lisa, the woman who lived here before. I think she's haunting the place." Anna, skeptical but concerned, agreed to come over. While waiting for her, Emily tried to keep herself calm. She could still hear Lisa's whispers, growing louder and more agitated. When Anna arrived, the apartment seemed eerily quiet. Emily explained everything, showing her the diary and recounting the strange events. Anna, though still doubtful, agreed to stay the night to see if she could experience anything herself. As the night wore on, the temperature in the apartment dropped even further. Around midnight, the whispers began again, more intense than before. Anna's skepticism turned to fear as she saw the same ghostly figure that Emily had described. "We need to help her," Anna said, her voice shaking. "Maybe if we can find out what really happened to her, we can help her move on." They decided to conduct a seance, hoping to communicate with Lisa and uncover the truth. They lit candles and sat around the table, holding hands. Emily spoke softly, calling out to Lisa, "Lisa, we want to help you. Please tell us what happened." The air grew heavy, and the candles flickered violently. The ghostly figure of Lisa appeared, her face contorted with pain and anger. "They killed me," she whispered. "I wasn't alone. They came for me and no one believed me. Now I'm trapped here and so are they." The temperature dropped further, and shadows began to move around the room. Emily and Anna felt a malevolent presence closing in, suffocating them. They realized Lisa was not the only spirit in the apartment. Whatever had tormented her was still there, feeding on fear and suffering. Desperate to escape, Emily grabbed the diary and began to read the final entry aloud, hoping to break the curse. The shadows recoiled, and Lisa's spirit seemed to gain strength from the words. With a final, anguished cry, Lisa's spirit surged forward, confronting the dark presence. The apartment shook, and the candles were extinguished, plunging them into darkness. Emily and Anna held on to each other, bracing for the worst. Suddenly, the oppressive weight lifted, and the air grew warmer. The lights flickered back on, and the apartment was still. Lisa's spirit was gone, and the dark presence had vanished. Emily and Anna sat in stunned silence, the reality of what had just happened sinking in. They had freed Lisa, but the experience left them shaken. Emily decided to move out of the apartment the next day, leaving the diary with Anna as a reminder of the ordeal they had faced. The story of Lisa's tragic end and the haunting that followed would stay with them forever, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk just beyond the veil of the ordinary. What about you? Do you live alone,